This is a picture of a fetus at 20 weeks gestational age. This is a picture of an aborted fetus at 20 weeks gestational age. Abortion is the legal killing of innocent human beings. As Christians, we know that this is wrong, and yet we often neglect our responsibility to promote life and to stop abortion. I've researched this topic, and I feel led to talk to you today about abortion as a problem and the solutions. In order to effectively promote life and to stop abortion, Christians must present scientific and medical evidence to argue against it, approach the argument in a loving, peaceful way, and be actively involved in some sort of pro-life effort. First, we should present scientific and medical evidence to argue against abortion. According to the Wiley-Blackwell Handbook of Infant Development, as early as 13 to 17 days after fertilization, the neural tube, which will later become the brain, has already begun to form. According to the Gall Encyclopedia of Nursing and Allied Health, at the end of week 4, the rudimentary heart beats a regular rhythm, the spinal cord has formed, legs and arms bud, and there is evidence of eyes, nose, and ears. Keeping this concept in mind, using evidence to argue against abortion gives your argument a more logical edge rather than an emotional one. Pro-choice supporters tend to not respond well to emotionally driven arguments, but tend to listen a little bit better to logical ones. For example, in 2004, Women's Health Weekly reported that a lawmaker in Indiana wanted to require all high school health teachers to show students pictures of fetuses and to teach them the health consequences of abortion. Also, in 1996, Omaha World Health reported that Senator John Lindsay wanted to focus the abortion debate on the heart of the issue, which is, quote, the humanity of the unborn child. He did this by introducing a bill that would reverse the state's definition of death as it applies to the fetus. The definition is the absence of circulatory, respiratory, and brain functions. Second, we should approach the argument in a loving, peaceful way. In 1998, USA Today reported that in just 6 years there had been 47 bombings and 151 arsons at abortion clinics. Using hate and violence to promote love only promotes the opposite. It promotes death. Lynn Coop wrote for the Petersburg Examiner, I cannot defend, nor will I defend, anyone who thinks that he is benefiting the pro-life movement by threatening to or actually killing a pro-abortionist. Such people do more harm than good to our cause. Also, using hate to argue against a pro-choice supporter is not going to do much for your argument. If they feel they're being personally attacked or offended, they're not going to listen to anything you have to say, let alone adopt your pro-life mindset. A frustrated Robert Coop wrote to the Ottawa Citizen, what I can't figure out is how people who truly want to bring their opponents on their side believe they can do so through antagonism and offensive arguments. Instead, we should approach the argument as Ephesians 2:31-32 tells us. It says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with any malice, and become one to another kind, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, according as also God in Christ did forgive you. Third, we should be actively involved in some sort of pro-life effort. Probably the best way that we can do this is by having one-on-one conversations with our friends, family members, co-workers, and neighbors, and so on, to change their hearts. In 2013, John Shields wrote in an article that since the Roe v. Wade case, most pro-life activists dedicated their lives to changing the hearts and minds of their fellow citizens rather than simply obstructing them from procuring abortions. These advocates quietly began countless conversations with ordinary citizens and continue to do so in great numbers. Another great way that you can be involved in some sort of pro-life effort is by either initiating or jumping on board with an orthodox but peaceful method. For instance, in 1999, Tom Martin wrote in The Scotsman about a lady who had begun offering cash to women planning to have an abortion. In just the first 2 years, this woman saved 179 babies from being aborted. And of course, you could always donate your time and money to pro-life campaigns such as March for Life or a local group in Danville called Little Life. Little Life takes the money that you donate to not only campaign against abortion, but to also teach people about abortion and to provide services for the needy women and children in the area, like diapers, formula, food, and so on. Abortion is murder. Abortion is evil. We must promote life. We must stop abortion. We will do so by presenting scientific and medical evidence to argue against it, by approaching the argument in a peaceful, loving way, and by being involved in a pro-life effort. The pictures I showed you are real. This threat against innocent human life is real, and it's our job to stop it. Thank you for your time.